Okay. Let's see. Can you hear me now? Okay. There I am. Okay. Perfect. Oh, goodness gracious. All of a sudden, computers just decide to do weird things. Thank you all for being patient. Apologize. Um, let's do a quick warm up, ladies, and then we'll get going. Just some hums, please. Three notes. Gentle onset. Think up as you go down. Two more. If I want my diction to be clear and understood, lips and tongue and tip of teeth will help it to be good. If I was my diction to be clear and understood, lips and tongue and tip of teeth will help it to be good. If I want my diction to be clear and understood, lips and tongue and tip of teeth will help it to be good. If I want my diction to be clear and understood, lips and tongue and tip of teeth will help it to be good. If I want my diction to be clear and understood, lips and tongue and tip of teeth will help it to be good. Shoo! You do it at home? Yes. Shoo! Mm-hmm. Shoo! Shoo! All right. That's all the warm-ups we're going to do for right now. So I think my limit is playing, singing, and trying to read comments while I'm playing. Obviously, words do not come out at that point. Grace, you are completely okay. I was late because my computer decided to crash. All right, we are going to go ahead and start with the Magnificat, actually. The Magnificat. And we're going to do just some... quick nitty-gritty stuff for ladies. And this is where we're having our sectional today. A couple of things. The very first page on the Magnificat where it says alto. That's going to be all ladies. All ladies. Because there are no soprano parts on that first little chunk. So go ahead and make that mark for me, please, in your music. Okay. And let's go ahead and go ahead and take a look at these parts real fast, please. All right. Let's go ahead and start right there when we begin at the bottom of the first page. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 1. Now it's very peeled back, right? There's nothing else going on. The organ adds a lot to it, but I want to make sure that we can sing this part isolated. Real fast. For he hath regarded the lowliness of his handmaiden. Make sure that you have diada on the end of that phrase, and that should be one big phrase, no breath. Okay. A couple of other things. Bottom of page 3, we're just doing a couple of quick tidbits. Blessed lift. So it's blessed, and then it's a quarter rest. Okay. blessed, blessed, off on the rest. Okay? Let's go ahead and do that part. Here we go. Bottom of page 3, last 2 bars. So 1 and 2. 1, 2, 3, off. Everybody on measure 28, you kind of feel untethered there on the downbeat because nobody moves in your part and only the organ moves on the downbeat. What I would urge you to do on 28, beat 2, that second note, that note, can that be a pickup note? So can you physically think that you're not gonna splat and land on it? It's gonna be that's what we're kind of going for. Okay, so this is we're going into a little bit of nuance. If you're wondering what we're gonna be doing today, and then when we get to the Z League, we're gonna talk about some notes. Okay, so let's do that one more time, please. Bottom of page 3, last 2 bars. 1 and 2. Thank you. All right, next little chunk. And holy is his name, holy. And then we have the sopranos coming in. Altos, make a lot of weight on the first syllable of holy. And holy is his name, holy, holy is his name. Okay. Altos, you're going to have a lift on measure 35 after name. That's going to be a quarter rest. And holy is his name, holy, holy. And then right there after the first holy, so we have, and holy is his name, lift, holy, there's a lift, holy is his name, all cursive, okay? Sopranos, your part is not hard, but it's hard finding that starting pitch occasionally. Yeah? That's your part. As we go down the scale, sopranos, make sure you're thinking up. Yep, like same thing with our warm-ups. Holy is his name. Okay, use the end of name. Let's go ahead and start, please. Altos 33, and we're going to hold the onset when the sopranos join us. Here we go, altos starting off. 33, 1, and holy is his name, holy. And that's all the crunch, and it's lovely. Let's do that one more time. Same place, altos. Ready? And holy is his name, holy. Let's keep going right there on holy. Ready? And when we get to the name, we're backing away and tapering. Okay? All right, and his mercy. I wrote underwater on this, remember big cursive. And his mercy is on them that fear him throughout all generations. And you're off on that quarter rest on generations. Shans. Okay? Sopranos, right there on top of 35. Throughout all generations. Don't get soprano syndrome, and when you get there and hold all, you're not counting. Make sure you still keep a count of the beat. But I will say, you are the clarion call with the trumpet. So when you get to the word all in 44, on the downbeat, we shouldn't be growing yet. We're just going to grow by nature of it going up in pitch. But when you start on the beat 2 of that, or the end of 1, throughout all, blossom, please. I don't even want you to think of a crescendo, and this needs to be a blossom. Okay? All right. Start, please. And his mercy is on them that fear. 1 and 2 and a 1. And his mercy is on them that throughout all generations. That's what we're looking for right there, okay? All right, same place, bottom of page 5. He hath showed its strength with his arms. There's only one arm, excuse me. Strength with his arm, and it's a lift. Okay, quarter note, quarter rest. Strength with his arm, he hath scattered the proud. Everybody on top of 6, he hath scattered the proud, carrying over in the imagination of their hearts. There's going to be a quarter note, quarter rest on the word hearts. Okay? So let's go ahead and start, please, with the altos. He hath showed strength. Do me a favor, altos. On the word strength, I want you to just lean into that. And the word on this particular time, I want the downbeat to just go, he hath showed strength. Use the STR and just blossom open into the word on the vowel. Okay? He hath showed. 1 and 2 and a 1. He hath showed strength with his arm. He hath scattered the proud. And it's that fast. Of their hearts. And there are multiple hearts, okay? Altos, a real quick reminder of what that little fun section at the top of page 6 sounds like. He hath scattered the proud. That's the soprano part, apologize. He hath scattered the proud in the imagination of their hearts. Okay, that's what we're looking for. Let's do that one more time, please. Top of page 6, everybody. Measure 2. He hath scattered the proud. 1 and 2 and a 1. He hath put it down. I wrote words over the alto part there, and I cannot even. That's an F sharp. I apologize. All right, right there on measure 57. He hath put down. So real fast, we have a temperature change and a character change. Yeah, we've had this tapering up to that point. In the imagination of their hearts, and then as soon as you exit on the consonant, it's like you're swapping face. You went of their hearts. He hath put down mighty from their seats. Okay, that's what we're looking for. Here we go. Measure 57, beat 2. He hath put down. 1 and 2 and a 1. He hath put down the mighty from their seat. Only one seat, okay? There's a little bit of crunch right there. Altos, the jump on mighty can catch you, so let's take a quick look at that. He hath put down the mighty, mighty from their seat. Okay, out of context, it's easier. In context, you have some crunch. Mighty, mighty from. Everybody, mark this in on your music. Measure 62. You're all unison, so everybody needs to be singing the same D natural from their seat. Okay. Are we eliding the T and D of put down? Yes, please. He hath put down. Put down. Put down. That's what we're gonna do. So he hath put down. Put down. We're using that cathedral English. Put down. It's literally going to be a T, schwa, D. Okay? Yeah. Put down. Put down. That's what we're looking for. And that's going to happen right on the turn. He hath put down. Okay? I hope that was as clear as mud. Okay, so next little chunk, page 7, everybody. Top of 7. I think this is the most blissful and just sweetly section of the piece. Sopranos, let's go ahead and do your part real fast. I think the difficult thing for you right here is going to figure out where you need to breathe and where you can get away with it. Yeah. So if we start right there on top of 7, last 2 bars, and 1. He hath filled it. He hath filled the hungry with good things. And that's all you get. Okay? So you get a catch breath after the first he hath filled. He hath filled, he hath filled. And that's all you get. Everybody else, you have to make it to the end of that phrase. Okay, let's do the soprano part one more time by yourself, soprano. 1 and 2 and a 1. He hath filled the hungry with good things. And I played the wrong note right there. I apologize, but I'm sure you all sang the right note. Altos, this is not hard for you. Let's go ahead and add you, please. All right, here we go. Now that you've heard it. He 1 and 2 and a 1. Unison. And a 1. And the rich, and he hath sent empty away. And right there, that whole little part on top of page 8, super dynamic, please. And I mean dynamic as in you were telling a story. And you need to actually, if I were you, in my mind, I can break this up, and I actually think the choir, especially at parts like this, if you think of oratorios or anything like that, the narrator, you are responding to what you're hearing, but then you're also declaring things before the soloist comes in. So, for example, the soloist on page 8, she starts it, and then you respond to her. But everything is dynamic between the soloist and the choir. Okay, so you need to know who you are at certain points. Can we go ahead and start, please? And the rich, he hath sent empty away. Here we go. Bottom of page 7. This is the last measure. Unison D natural. And the rich. 1 and 2 and the rich, and he hath sent empty away. Off and a 1, bring his mercy, and bring his mercy. Lift, hath opened his servant Israel. And then we're holding it forever and a day. We're going to break this down real fast. Sopranos, that jump is a little tricky. Open his servant Israel. Everybody make a decision and a choice to consciously not sing Israel. There's no I in that. Israel. That's all we need, okay? Let's go back, please. Now, I know some of you mentioned at measure 79, it's hard finding the starting notes right there, and I completely understand that. So just a quick reminder, we just ended on this. Empty away. And then you get this, and 1. And that's the only chords you get, which is not very helpful in the slightest, right? But what you are going to hear from the soloist is you'll get empty away, bring his mercy. That gives you really not much to go on. I'm going to go ahead and let you know, if I were a soprano, I don't care what the organ is doing, I'm going to be thinking this. Empty away, ba, 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 ba. And I'm going to go up a half step when I get ready to sing. So, and here's what you can do. If you're recording at home, I do not care if you go empty away. Ba, da, 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 da. He remembering his I'm okay with that. I can chop out those little hums that you do. That'll be completely okay. So keep the A going. Now altos, you have a little bit more difficult. I apologize, but I didn't write this. So empty away. And then you have to find G. He remembering. And you don't really get much. I hate to say that. But just, I think the only way that this can really help you is just to hear the harmony from the organ. Okay, so let's just start altos, empty away. Top of page 8, last 2 bars. Empty away. 2, 1. He remembering. That's all you got. I apologize, but I know you can do it. Okay, let's start all ladies, please. Empty away, top of page 8, last 2 measures. Empty away, ready, and go. And 1, If you did well, go ahead and put a thumbs up in the chat. At least that'll let me know you were doing okay. If you have questions or you want to go over that again, if you pop it in there, I'll just make a note to do that, okay? Let's go ahead and start, please, at bar 79. Here we go. And 1. He remembering his mercy hath opened his servant Israel. Only forever. Okay. One thing, everybody, please take a note of. Open his servant. The T goes to the next word. Servant Israel. Okay. Aha, I see thumbs up, I see okays, life is good. And I see a woo, yes, a huzzah will also work. Okay, so that is that for that particular chunk. Let's leave that for right now. The little next part I'm not so much worried about. If anybody has any specific questions that I have not talked about for this piece, go ahead and type them in the chat. I'll give you a few seconds. While you're doing that, I do want to make sure everybody knows that measure 90, as he promised, left to our forefathers, and it's a quarter note, quarter rest. Okay, super, super important. I'm not so much worried about the rest of it. Okay, all right, let's put this into practice and let's sing it once through. Soloist, lovely voice soprano, and my spirit hath rejoiced in God. And there's your starting pitch coming up now, carrying over loneliness of his enemy. Off. We're in 2, remember. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, me. And 1, and 1, 2. Get ready and hold. And holy is his name. Holy, holy is his name. And on that soprano through our generations. And clarion with his soprano, Scott carrying over out of lift. Alto moving. From the seat. Come on, get ready, sopranos. And he hath filled our hungry with good things. And 1, unison, bridge. He hath set empty our way. Good ring. And 1. Remembering his mercy, hath opened his alto, off, and 3, and promised to our forefathers. Life is good. And then we're not going to do the next part. Okay, one other thing I would like for everybody just to take a quick note, and this is at measure 103, bottom of page 10. Forever. if I'm a soprano, I'm going to ride on the coattails of the altos on the downbeat of bar 104. Because if I'm a soprano, if I had nothing else in context and there was no alto line, if I was just singing solo, it'd be one of these. Forever. Right? Yeah, great. But since you have the altos that are delaying their tension and release a whole measure after you, you get to ride on their coattails and add a little bit of oof to yours. So, if I'm in a soprano, forever, I'm gonna do a little bit of oof. We'll just call it a zh. I'm gonna do a little bit of a zh into the downbeat of that next bar, okay? Because the altos are gonna give you the energy. If I'm an alto, forever, right? Let's do that, please. Here we go, both ladies. 4, 4, top of page 10, last measure. 1 and 2 and a 1. Forever. And we're gonna go off the cliff. Okay, that's what we're looking for. All right, put that away, please, and let's take a look at Selig sind die Toten. That thing that I know you all just love. I have all the faith in the world that you love it. All right. So I love having just the upper three voices to go over on this because I think they just fit so well together. And it's almost like they can function as a double choir between the upper three and the bottom three. Okie dokie. So, just a quick reminder, all the altos are on the alto line as of right now. Soprano ones, so here, if you have not already noticed by now, Schutz writes, yes, I do, for real, yes. Schutz writes music that, the part names were given way after the fact. These were really like called primus, secundus, and some other stuff. But basically, you notice that they go all over the place, right? You can have the alto line, but it can go above the soprano line. You have two soprano lines, but one might say S2, but you might spend more time above the S1s in particular places, right? So there is no, this is the soprano one line. These are the two lines. I like what they sound like, and then whoever sings them. Okay, that's how the early music works. So all that being said, we're gonna do some swap off. So get your pencil ready. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and give you one place, and we'll actually. Oh, I think we'll just start from the first page. Soprano ones on the first page. It's gonna be. I'm gonna write these in while I'm saying them. It's gonna be Devon on S1. It's also going to be. I am gonna have Lydia on S1 right there. And on S2, I'm going to have Grace, if I can get my pencil to work. Okay. And then we're going to have Jane Long. And then we're going to have Jane Adams. Okay. And then the altos, you are who you are. All right. And this is for right now. And we'll work out balance and stuff later. Okay. Let's go ahead and do this first page, please. Selig sind die Toten. Those are your words, at least for right now. Okay? And I love it because you can keep it in the front and you can use the Z's to pitch everything. There you go. I'll give you 1, and we're in 2. Okay? I know this looks like it's in 4, but it's really in 2. 1 and 2. Selig sind die Toten. And yes, if you were sitting down while you're singing this, I would advise you to maybe not, because you're going to need all the breath you can get. Okay, next little part. Die in den Herren sterben. Sterben. That's a sterben. Okay? Alto, starting us off, measure 10. 1 and 2 and D in Herren sterben. 1 and Z, Z, and then we go ahead and start into this next little thing, okay? So here's the deal. What I want you to go ahead and get in your brain, if you remember when we did the the Monteverdi, when Voces 8 was there, we did the big thing. It stayed on one chord. Actually, it was in D minor. Okay, it stayed on one note or one chord. This type of music does the same thing. Now, here's the deal. Notice that you're going... We literally have 3 chords, okay? Or 4 chords right there. It's not harmonically difficult, but what happens in this music is you can kind of get lost because you hear what you think is your part all of a sudden. So I want you to stay the course, please. Let's do the alto part and the soprano 2 part, please, starting on bar 13. It's going to feel a little unfulfilled because you don't have the S1, but we'll do it, okay? Here we go. Z, alto, starting us off on the and of 2. 1 and 2. Z, Z. Ooh, one more time. 1 and Z, 1, Z. Now, alto, it's not like you're holding one pitch, right? But just note this, altos, that when you're holding this one pitch, you got a whole bunch of stuff going on around you, okay? And so you're going to be shifting. So make sure that you have made those notes. All right. A couple things. Measure 25 or 26. There's a duet right there. All sopranos are going to be on the S2 line right there. Okay, so it's literally all the ladies. Measure 30. You actually sopranos on bar 30. All sopranos right there, please. And then we can do our jump up, okay? Soprano 1s, if you want to not sing the downbeat on bar 32, that's completely fine, so you can get up to the C on the high C, okay? Couple of other things. I have one other note I want to make, and then we're going to sing through this with the words. Everybody take a quick look, please, at bar 91. Bar 91. I'm going to make one change, and I'm so sorry if my wife, if you can hear her, I guess somebody's at the door. On bar 91, I would like for all the altos to change that half note on the word bite. Do you mean all sopranos at 30? I'll get to that in just a second. Bar 91, all altos, change your half note to a whole note. You're going to hold it all the way to the downbeat, okay? On the S1s, here's where we're going to change things. You are going to on measure 90, you're singing your R, and then you are not going to sing on the downbeat. You're going to jump down to the S2. So all sopranos will be on the und ihre Werke folgen ihnen, and then we're going to go back to our parts. Okay, this is just because it's that important to hear that coming in. So all sopranos on 91, you're going to be on the S2. This is just for 2 bars. Okay, so measure 91 and measure 92. All sopranos are on S2. Then we're back to our regular splits. Altos on measure 91, you're literally going to hold your half note into a whole note. Okay, that's all the change we're going to have. So just make that note, please. All right, let's go ahead and sing this, please. Here we go. Here's starting pitch. going. Coming back in. It's like a contraction. Contract. Von, ihre. Soprano 1. Unit. Ihre Werke folgen ihnen nach. Folgen ihnen. Unison. Same as earlier. Duet. Soprano 1. It's like a repeat. Octave. Contract, expand, contract. Expand. One. Get ready, sopranos. Und ihre Werke folgen ihnen. Und ihre Werke folgen. Und ihre Werke folgen ihnen nach. Folgen ihnen nach. Und ihre Werke folgen ihnen nach. Und ihre And we're holding it forever today. Okay, so let me shut that off here for a quick second before it keeps playing. All right, a couple of things. A couple of things. We're gonna start on bar 91, measure 91. Let me get these back. Okay, so at bar 91, remember it was very evident in this recording, but you have, it's coming out of this just goop. I would call it goop because, yes, it's very fun stuff. I love this music. We have this ihre, Arbeit und ihre Werke folgen ihnen ba. And it's a complete change, right? It even turns major-esque, okay? And when that happens, you have to have a change, okay? So real fast, I want us to go from measure 91 into the end, and then we'll hop off and go to Zoom. Here we go. 91. Und ihre Werke folgen ihnen. Alto. Soprano. Ihre folgen ihnen nach. Und ihre Werke folgen ihnen nach. Soprano 2. The basses will lay into it and you can float on top. Okay. All right. That's all I wanted to talk about with this. But I wanted for us to just focus on the upper three voices for right now, because the lower three voices have much different modalities than some of the stuff that you guys are doing. So I hope this was helpful and beneficial. If you have any questions, we'll chat about them on Zoom. 95 through 100 needs work for me. I'm making notes. Y'all have these ready to tell me on the Zoom call, and I will write them down. All right, see you on Zoom.